Let me show you how to navigate when you're actually editing one of your web pages. I've already created this web page, kind of sampled it out so that I can go in here and show you quickly how to go through all the tabs. I've named it Test, and you can see my subject here for testing purposes. I'm going to double click, and this opens up my new web page. Now once you're opening it, you can see we've got some editing features here. Well, you can edit your page name and your subject line here. Your page name, it should always be as simple as possible. Avoid special characters. You can have spaces, but once you have that space, it's going to translate in your URL as %20. And so really it's easier just to avoid spaces. And you can have dashes. I would say that's about it. Just go with dashes and lower caps, and keep it simple, clean, and then it'll be a lot easier down the road when you're trying to link to this from another web page or your navigation sidebars. Now, your subject line, this is what's going to show up in your actual browser. So let me pull that up for a second. This is your subject line. It says for testing purposes. This is going to show up only on whatever page you're looking at, and then your page name, this is going to be in the URL. So you can see it here as test at the very end of this whole long URL here. But really this is all we're modifying. Let me go back to my page. So from here, don't worry about these other features. These are all kind of just extra features. You never really have to touch them. Now I'm going to go to my header tab to the right. You can see we have more features, but avoid these. Really the only one you're going to use in this header tab is your scrolling message. I've clicked it, and typically you have to check it off to make these features pop up. Now with your scrolling message, it's kind of self-explanatory. They scroll across the very top of your web page. You can use them for a lot of announcements. You can have two messages, so they give you message A, message B. You can make it say whatever you want it to say. Your message A link would, well, you can make it a link. I'm going to make it go to the home page. So when people see that scrolling message, they can click it and go to my home page. Now you can make it go wherever you want, but the tooltips is kind of an extra feature. You can add little images in there, but really just avoid it overall. So that's about that in the header tabs. Your header links, not useful. Don't use them. Actually, they don't even work. Your navigation sidebar, this will default. It will default in these links down here. It's always going to say class links and class homepage, and then it gives you your homepage link whenever you create a new web page. It's always going to have these. So it's kind of important to note, because you may have to go in and delete these if you don't want them there. I mean, they don't hurt that they're there, but they always come in with new web pages. Now you can go in, you can add new rows, you can type things, you can use images if you really want, you can link them to other pages, but I'm going to just make it test because that's my current page name. So really it's just going to link to itself. And don't worry about special format, that's more for more advanced web pages. Your colors and fonts will not change anything, so don't even worry about that. So really these new links here, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to save it without closing. You just hit the little arrow here and go down to save, and it takes about 3 or 4 seconds to update that. We should see this type things with it linking to itself at the very bottom of our navigation sidebar on the left. So I'm going to go back to my web page here, Well, I need to refresh it to make it pop up the new update. So now you can see my scrolling message at the top. Whatever you want it to say, that's what I typed in. And if I click it, it's going to link to my home page. I don't want to do that though. I'm going to scroll down to show you my navigation links at the bottom. This is the new link that was just added, type things. So if I click that, it's just going to go right to itself. And that's pretty much it as far as the tab features over here. Oh, don't use information sidebars. You probably will not see your special content or other features. These are kind of extra admin features. And it's also going to let you know what kind of access you have when you first look into a web page. It's letting me know here that I'm an admin page builder. This is based on whatever RWD patch you've gotten. So this is one of the later ones that lets me see some extra features. And well, now I'm going to show you how to next go into actually editing this web page. Now, when you open up a web page and your monitor is kind of small, you can see here that I'm looking for my actual editing space, and I'm not seeing it. This is because it's actually down here. It's kind of hiding. So I'm gonna see this little bar here with a little arrow on it. You can click that, and it pops it up with a new feature here. Well, not a new feature, but this is our web page content that we want to edit. And I had already typed in random text, and I dropped a table in here because I wanted to show you that when you're actually selected into text or whatever on your page, that will give you different features up here on your drop downs. So as far as text editing goes, it's pretty much like Word. You've got your font types, font size, font color, font alignments, but then on your insert tab you've got inserting of images, tables. If you really want to use some of the other ones here, you can insert lines, page breaks. Backgrounds won't work, but that's about how that goes. But then your format, well, you're formatting whatever text you actually have selected. So if you like highlight it and go to Format, Selection, well, this will actually format that text. But honestly, a lot of this you can do from right there without having to do that. But you can do the literal HTML from here. But you can also right-click it and go to Format Text, and it gives you the same exact option. So there's a lot of quicker ways to do things. Now, when you select into a table, you can see that I just got a new feature over here on the right with a table drop down. From here, you've got inserting of rows and columns and merging and splitting and deleting. And based on whatever you're wanting to do, I mean, this pretty much covers a lot of the table features. But that's as far as that goes as the drop downs and editing just from within here. There's a lot more you can do, but I'm going to go over that later. So, simple as that.